Finished paintings can serve many purposes. Art lovers want something like this to hang in the living room. The painter needs a paycheck to keep away from the starving artist lifestyle. Here at the Warner Park Nature Center, every painting comes with a grander purpose. Each one for sale at this Heart for the Parks art show will raise money to buy, save, and guarantee that natural pieces of land stay that way. But you don't get to this point easily. These paintings aren't inspired by a photograph or even a memory. There's only one way for the artist to get this finish, and it starts in the forest.
I'm in awe of this forest every time I come back here.
No paths or trails on this rare piece of pristine West Nashville land, called an old growth forest.
A couple of steep hills to get up here.
I don't have to worry about those extra calories and carbs that I'm going to have for dinner tonight.
Armed only with paints, brushes, and the tools that help capture their creative reality.
We're going to go into the hollow and I'll point out trees, and if you want to peel off at any point, feel free to do so.
The Chestnut group of plein air painters, French for in the open air, is on an invited mission this day.
So I've got a white oak, a red oak, an ash, and a maple all together.
They'll use their skills to make sure natural places like this never disappear. 225 acres of an unspoiled forest ecosystem, more likely found on the Cumberland Plateau or isolated inside the Smoky Mountains.
You can have a giant tulip poplar and then right next to it a sassafras. They might be the same age, one might be a lot larger than the other, so it's hard to know. We know that they're significant, old, beautiful trees.
It's amazing to be in downtown Nashville where our office is, and then in a matter of minutes be out in this forest walking and under such large canopy trees. It's really a true treasure for Nashville and the state of Tennessee.
It's the largest undisturbed forest in an urban area east of the Mississippi River. A phenomenal jewel. 300-year-old trees still grow here.
And for the city of Nashville, it is an amazing, amazing place to have plopped down in the center of Davidson County.
The trees are spread out and very large, and it's something that you would see in a national park or a forest where it's been preserved for a long time. It was an amazing experience to see it for the first time.
Since the early 1900s, loggers have been kept away. The land owned by the H.G. Hill family, but recently sold to Metro thanks to money raised by the Friends of Warner Park. Money that comes from the paintings that are about to happen here.
I think the color's better on an overcast day.
For them, February is fine. No leaves let you really see the trees.
In the summer, you could spend all day painting greens. In the winter, you could spend all day painting grays, which I happen to like a lot. Melancholy.
As the painters search for that perfect spot, it's clear Ann Getzey has found hers.
There's also beauty in the silence of winter. If we quiet ourselves enough to be part of it.
Undisturbed is the word for this forest.
Hasn't been harvested or tread upon by people.
These painters are careful to honor that history.
We feel like we're just treading very gently and quietly on this piece of land.
That explains the intensity on their faces as they hope to paint what very few have ever seen. That's why Carol Burning really wants to get it right.
I never know until I get back home and look at it in the studio and decide, I'm not so sure about that. That might be a wiper.
If you're wondering what's a wiper,
I wipe it off and use the canvas for something else.
the leaves certainly shiver, but the painters don't. They need to be out here.
It's fun, it's immediate, and honestly, your paintings look a whole lot better when you do them outside.
And the goal is simple.
Oh, these fabulous big old patriarchs of the forest who've been here for 200 years. If I could get a smidge of that on the canvas, I'd be happy.
From everything you've seen so far, you'd think this forest sits somewhere in the middle of nowhere, far removed from any civilized, commercialized, or developed land. And you'd be wrong. All of this natural beauty is just a Peyton Manning football throw away from Highway 70 and a much more real world.
Well, 100 years from now, this should be here. The strip malls may not, but by golly, these trees should be here.
And they will be, thanks to Friends of Warner Park and Nashville government, and all the donated money to buy the land, from painters to everyday people.
I think it was very touching, some of the tiny $1.50 contributions that people made towards saving this. Just people came out of the woodwork and loved it and just, can we help?
What was once private land is now public, so people will be coming here with carefully controlled small tours by appointment only, designed to maintain its untouched by humans purity.
It's not open to the public yet, but when it is, I think everybody's going to go crazy. It's just a step back in time. 200 years ago, it probably looks like it did then.
The land now is a forever celebration of what they saved.
We don't have very many of these places left.
I'm Terry Bulger on the Wild Side.